All right, guys, welcome to Cooking with CJ. I'm your host, CJ, from Cooking with CJ fame. Tonight we have a great guest, a fabulous guest, a wonderful guest, and all the other adjectives we can find in the thesaurus. We have Ryan from a Grill Top Experience. Welcome, brother. We have, as always, my co-host with the most, Kent Vandy Weird, is in the house. I say hi, Kent. Wave to the people.
Hi, guys. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. All right. Let's shout out our moderators in there. I see Hobo's in there. Scotty's in there. Jay from LeprakonTV should be in there pretty soon. Kirby and Red will jump on as soon as they can. All right. Before we really get started, I need to adjust my camera because I'm cutting off my head. No one likes that because you want all this in the screen. So if you guys have questions for Big Ryan over there, make sure you put it in the chat at Kent and capitalize it so he knows what's going on. Okay. Let's see here. Welcome, Ryan. How you doing, brother? Give a shout out to people.
I think that's the first time anybody's ever called me Big Ryan at 145 pounds.
Oh, hey. Big's a state of mind. Big's a state of mind. So really glad for you to be here. I do appreciate you coming on. This is awesome. I think we got a lot to talk about tonight. I think it's gonna be a good time. I can't wait till the chat gets going with certain things about certain things, and it's gonna be a good time. All right, I'm gonna shout out some of the people in the chat. Speaking of that, I see Christy's Cooking Channel's in there. Heather Baker, otherwise known as Mrs. Pickles, is in the house, and Pickles Barbecue. Easy Bake Barbecue's in there. Suburban Barbecue. Ray Mack, Big Ray Mack's in the house. Right on. Someone shouted out Jim. Welcome, Jim. Keith Bettag, Nigel's in there. Backyard Cooking with M&B. John from 1984 Barbecue. Miss Booger. Mama T's Barbecue Sauce. And Juan, or JP's Barbecue. Sorry. There's Jay. I knew he was in there. Don't worry if I missed you. Wait a minute. Is Chef in the chat yet? Okay. Just making sure.
I haven't seen him yet.
Okay. I haven't I want to make sure I don't miss Chef. So
I will let you know when I see him.
All right, because Chef gets angry if I miss him. So all right. You ready to get started, Ryan?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. These are hard-hitting, deep questions. Where are you from, my friend?
So I live in Utah County, Utah, but where I'm actually from, I'm a military brat, so I grew up all over the country, like 7 or 8 different states.
Right on. How do you like it there in Utah?
It's pretty nice. It's starting to get cold, but the leaves are changing, so the mountains are really pretty. It's a good time to come visit. Right
on. I was just recently in Utah. We went to Zion for a day, drove around the park. It was a good time. Had dinner out there. It was a good time.
It's absolutely beautiful down there.
Oh, yeah. It's gorgeous. ST Cole 82 says what's up. Let's see here. Bottle Cat Barbecue and Eric from Roundhouse Ranch. Welcome, guys. Hobo said, what up, GB? So if Green Bastard's in the house, hey, welcome. I don't see how, but hey, that's awesome. Mrs. Pickles is getting crunk. All right, that's a good time. Keith Bettag will be keeping track of the people in the chat, the viewers. All-time records 84. So if we would break that tonight, it's gonna be good times. All right. So family life. Yeah, you're married, kids, dog, cat, ferret.
No ferret. I do have an iguana. I've had him for 7 or 8 years now, which is pretty cool. I've got 2 kids, both 4 and 7, and married with my wife, Mrs. Grill Top Experience.
I love how everybody's just Mrs. whatever our channel name is.
Mrs. whatever. Her name's Nikki, if you ever want to know. But
right
yeah, we met in calculus class in college, so we had a lot of fun there. Study buddies before we ever dated.
And what college was that?
At BYU.
BYU. Oh, all right. Very cool. I had a buddy that graduated from there too, way back in the day. Someone in the chat said, hey, CJ, got to go get my drink. All right, Jimmy Q, get your drink. Mike from Culinary Cookhouse, welcome. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. What is your real job besides YouTube?
Besides YouTube, I work in IT. I'm an IT manager. So I'm responsible for the group that manages about 1,000 computers, 75 servers, and everybody else so about 600 employees or so.
Oh, wow. Right on. And that's
Fun.
based in Utah with you too, or do you work remote?
No, I have to go into work every day. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks. We got a couple fellows in our little chat over here that work from home, and they like it. Well, I kind of just lost my train of thought right there. I don't see Mega Fred in there yet. I don't know if you see him, Kent, but I kind of want to ask his question and get it out of the way just because I want to know. Mega Fred's lifetime question: favorite music, bands, etc.
Yeah, I don't listen to music as much as I used to, but like growing up, it was some like Korn, Rob Zombie, a lot of that kind of stuff. But then I can go with pretty much anything. If I'm having a good day, I like to listen to Bob Marley, some of that reggae music too. Just pretty much anything, depending on the mood.
Right on. How come no one says Justin Timberlake anymore, Kent? Or 90s R&B? What's going on? Come on.
Boys to Men.
Boys to Men. There you go.
I got their CD.
We saw them in Vegas recently. They're awesome.
Nice.
I see Big Red's in the house. One of my other moderators. Welcome, brother. It's good to see you in there. Kent, you got anything just yet? Is it still too early?
I got one. I'm not sure how you say his channel name, if it stands for something, but it's STCOL82. Wants to know, Ryan, what is in your best rib rub recipe?
So I haven't made a lot of ribs. Mostly I stick with pork butts and briskets and things. But for me, I like to keep it simple, just salt and pepper for most anything. Then you can add whatever you want, mix it up later if you're doing leftovers. No, that's boring. A lot of people have 37 ingredients in theirs.
Well, barbecue is supposed to be simple, right?
Right.
So,
well, I was
the only thing I have wrote down, CJ.
All right, guys. Everybody in the chat, make sure you guys are putting questions out there, hashtags, whatever you want to do, Hobo. Get it out there. I was watching the pork butt video you just did, your comparison video, and you just did salt, pepper, garlic salt, right? You kept it real simple. And celery seed, right?
A little bit of celery seed because you got to cheat on that smoke ring. Those
right.
nitrates make it a little bit darker. So
right on. Let's see here. Let's get back to the chat. Say hi to everybody. Suburban Barbecue, Jason from Easy Bake, Eric from Smoking Barbecue. I see Nigel's here. I thought I shouted him out already, but you never know. Going back to that same gentleman, that kid just asked a question. He asked if you ever make your own barbecue sauce.
I do. I have a couple of videos where I did that. I did a mango chipotle one, and I can't remember what the other one was, but I do like to make my own. If I don't have to use the store-bought stuff, it's a good thing.
Right on. What's your favorite one to do?
The mango chipotle one is good on just about anything because it's sweet and pretty spicy too. It's got that smoky flavor from the chipotle in there.
Right on. And what do you like to put it on normally?
That one I put on chicken. If you wanted to put on ribs, you could afterward too.
I wonder if it would probably be good on ribs, a little low and slow on that barbecue, get that smoke in there, that chipotle heat. Yeah, I'm in that. JP Barbecue said, "Don't forget me, brother. I shouted you out right in the beginning. Don't worry, you're
missed
off
it,
the river now, brother." Let's see. Sorry, someone's getting some ice in the other room. If you guys are hearing that background noise, we don't have a studio just yet, so we're doing this from the home, the dining room. All right. How did you get started on this YouTube game?
So a couple of years ago, I was switching jobs. They asked me to fill in for my boss when he retired while they could go find somebody else. But they said that the person who was doing that, and it was going to be about 9 months, wasn't going to be able to apply for the job. So I stepped away. I said, that's cool, but I want the opportunity to do it. And I went from sitting behind a desk into sitting in front of 150 people giving presentations. They didn't want to hear what I had to say. And so YouTube for me was a way to, one, de-stress, but two, it gave me a chance to go and figure out, okay, how can I communicate a little bit better? I had to listen to myself. I had to watch myself. And even though the people didn't like what I was saying, I put a little bit of humor in some of those presentations, and they had appreciated it a little bit more, which is a pretty cool change. But since then, it's mostly across the world, and they say, hey, I made the sandwich that you made, and it was absolutely awesome. My kid loves it. We have it, a couple times a month. And that keeps me going, that know that people are watching and doing what we're coming up with.
Well, that's funny because that's one of the questions. What keeps you going and staying on the grind of YouTube? So,
Dang.
no,
That's the other one. It's not the ad revenue. I haven't even touched any of that. But yeah, just working with the people. I didn't expect to have a community build up around with the other creators and the people that would comment. I mean, Nigel is more connected than anybody else that I know in this community.
Oh,
just
for
be able
sure.
to see those people responding time and time again.
Yeah, I think I'm probably not alone, but everybody wants to see Nigel on this thing. So,
and because of Nigel, Mrs. Grill Top Experience made another debut in a video. So thanks to him.
Nigel is the man. Real quick, John McGuire. Sorry, I don't know why I can't read today. How you doing, brother? It's Johnny from Pit Life Barbecue. I believe they have the podcast, Pit Life Barbecue. I see him on Facebook. So welcome, brother. If you got any tips and tricks on how I should be doing, let me know. Let's see here. Speaking of Mrs. Grill Top Experience, I always ask because Hobo is adamant about getting spouses in there. Is she around? Would she like to come on and say hi to the people?
So I've been prepping her for this for a couple of weeks ever since I found I was coming on. And she agreed to it, but this afternoon she started getting really sick, so she's not up for it tonight.
Oh, that's too bad.
Wish she would have.
Well, at least we know. So Hobo, there you know, she would have came on, and she's been on a couple of your videos.
She has. She helped me with the hot dog one because I couldn't get the corn dogs to work for anything. As soon as I put the batter in, the oil just splattered everywhere, and it was just a naked hot dog after that. So, and then she's got the secret pizza sauce recipe.
Guy from Iowa. Got to ask the guy from Iowa with help with corn dogs. I'm telling you.
Okay, you got to put your ears in, brother. We can't hear you. Awkward pause. Get your ears in, son. Get your mic on. Yeah, there you go. Ask your question again, brother.
I said, if you need help with the corn dogs, you got to hit up the guy from Iowa.
Is that you?
Yeah.
It is? Okay, I didn't know where you're from. Sorry.
Yeah, Ken's from Iowa. I'm from Southern California.
That one. Yeah, I'm actually kind of sad when it started getting dark during these because Kent goes and puts the garage door down. You can't see his motorhome anymore.
Oh, yeah, nice. So I see.
Not here.
What's up? You don't have the motorhome there, Kent?
No, I got it out at my shop.
Right on. I see Soul Food Cookings here. Welcome. Good to see you. Meat Cranium Barbecue and Review. He said the Dolphins are down 14-7. Doesn't shock me. Hobo said the shitter's full. That's why it's at the shop. That's messed up, Hobo. See Bones Yards here. Welcome. How you doing? Josh and Babe. Welcome, brother. Good seeing you last weekend. We had a great time. And Josh and Babe, Josh came over. We had the reception last weekend. He wasn't going to drink, and then he had a couple drinks and a couple more and a couple burgers and had a great time. And he still got up and went to the Spartan race and competed and did all that crap. He's a better man than me for sure. So good stuff. So everybody give Josh and Babe a hand clap in the chat. And that was a big deal right there, man. That's tough. So, all right. So how long you been working on your channel there, Ryan?
Just over 2 years, but I've been thinking about it for a little longer than that. I finally had to just jump in there and make it happen. But
really, you spend a lot of time kind of learning it before you jumped in, or you just jumped in and like a lot of us do, just jump in and figure it out later?
Yeah. So my very first video was how to cook a pizza on a Weber kettle, and I said, okay, I bet you this thing, everybody's gonna want to know how to do this. And so I put it out there, and I woke up the next morning. I was so excited to see how many views I had gotten, and I got one more than it was just me. And that's when reality started to hit. Now, truth be told, that's still my most popular video. A lot of people are still watching, even though it's a couple of years old. I didn't think it was very good. I've been wanting to redo it for a long time. But just practicing after that, going easy at first. I've had to delete a few of those early videos because I wasn't too proud of them after I looked back at them, though.
Well, I think that's the best part, is going back on the videos and being like, yeah, look how far we've come.
Yeah, some of those big channels with 1 million subscribers, they still post some of those. And you look back at them and you're like, wow, how did they ever make it?
Yeah,
But
that's the
we
crazy
must have
part.
something.
It really is a grind, and I'm learning that too. I've only had mine a little over a year now, and it's a grind. If you want to grow and you want to be big, and it's not like how, you know, I don't say the old timers, but like Troy and Lyle and all them, when they started it, they didn't have all the tools like we have. You know, we can go on these community forums, you know, we do on Facebook, whatever. And it's a lot easier for us to grow, but it's still a grind. You still got to put out the content. You still got to do everything to promote it and all that jazz. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I've scaled it back a little bit because I know during the summer the barbecue videos are really popular, but about now for the next 6 months or so, nobody's watching them as much. So I scale back to every couple of weeks, get back to doing some other things. This for me is just a hobby. It's not like that's the thing I want to do with my life is YouTube.
Right.
It's not yet.
I think you'll find most of the people are very like, just, you know, it's a hobby, it's a creative outlet, you know, have some fun with it. A lot of people love the community, you know, all the people together. Like I love the hot seat because it gets people in here and they sit there and they chat, they have a good time. You know, everybody subs to everybody in the chat if they're not. It's all about support. And I just saw Red's comment. You got to kiss CJ in the mouth, or is that just me? Oh, Big Red. Mwah. But it's great that they all just, I don't know. There's always opposite sides of the fence, you know, especially about, you know, certain things we've already discussed. But for the most part, everybody's having a great time, and it's a good thing. It's one of the real reasons that it keeps me going on this is because all the people in the community, like you're getting genuine friends out of this, that people you'd never meet before.
Yeah, and even though I haven't really met them in person, I've watched their videos so much, it almost feels like we've been hanging out on the weekends for a long time,
right?
Chatting in the comments.
Like you know them, right?
Yeah, I was jealous when I found out Lassie went down to Southern California.
Oh yeah, right.
Visit with you guys.
Yeah, that was an experience. It was very cool, and it's, you know, few weeks or a month or so before, I had Josh and Babe and Kirby and Marion over here, and I never met any of them, but we chatted in the community, stuff like that, and it just kind of took a leap to, you know, trust that they're good people like you see on TV, or not TV, but on YouTube, whatever. And it really worked out well. You know, like I consider Kent a personal friend. He's in Iowa, you know, but this community is what keeps people in it and going. So that's a big deal to me.
Yeah. But people talk about the dislikes and the trolls that come and make those comments. I actually felt accomplished when I started getting some dislikes and people that felt that they could hide in there and say whatever they wanted about the channel. So I finally made it, right?
Get your first troll. Yeah, I did, I don't know, a handful of videos, and I was actually waiting for the first thumbs down or a troll comment so I could make a video about getting a thumbs down in a troll comment. You know, it was like, you know, is this the end? I did a total clickbait. You know, I was trying to make it work. So it's, I don't know. It's bad, dude. So, Kent, what do you got to say, man? I see you getting giggly over there.
I'm just thinking about your heartbroke video for your thumbs down.
Right on.
I never laughed so hard.
I had a great time with it. I was actually filming another cook, and then that popped up while we were sitting there, and I so my son was helping me film. I'm like, come on, grab the camera. We're gonna do another one real quick. We're gonna do I can't believe it. How am I gonna get through this? So I think you're right. When you get that first troll, you feel like you've made it. So that's a good time.
And now it's like my dislikes go down, and that's a concern for me. That means people aren't watching it as much. Like, I got to make them not like it as much or something.
People aren't pissed off at me anymore. Let me get back to the chat here and say hi to some people. Sent 1,000's there. Let's see here. Tom Hinnerman, welcome. Keith Bettag loves the haters. Let's see here. Vanessa's here. Deep Sea Barbecue's here. Let's see here.
Cooking with Corey.
Cooking with Corey. I thought I said hi to him, but I'm not sure. LT Lewis from Marshack Barbecue. Howdy. Let's see here. I think that kind of catches me up. If I missed you, I'm sorry. We'll keep looking on the next round. If I
Last
missed you,
week's guest.
oh yeah, Tom Horseman, how you doing, sir? Welcome. But if I didn't shout you out, put your hand up, say hi. Make sure you guys are spending time chatting with everybody in the chat. That's what we're here to do. Let's see here. Red just said we have 47 people here and 11 likes, so make sure you get on top of that, people. Smoking Jazz Barbecue, welcome. You are here. I knew I saw you in there. Usually I'm trying to write down who's in there while Kent is asking questions, but unfortunately Kent has no questions at the moment to ask, so I can't keep track on what's here. So, guys, throw the questions in there. All right. Let's see here. Overall, what's your channel about? It's not just grilling, is it? It's more, what do you think? Is it overall cooking, or is it more just grilling experience?
So I started off with just the idea of barbecue and grilling, thinking that was the thing that was going to be. But then I realized there were a lot of other things that I wanted to put out there. And so next thing I know, one of the things I'm going to work on as soon as I get off this is I'm going to go cook my pumpkin pie out on the grill. Now, you can do pretty much anything out there if you try hard enough. And so that is really the focus. It's got to be cooking with fire like a pro and getting out there and doing it. Because I remember when I first got on the grill, I was at my grandpa's house and my dad said, hey, whatever happens, don't let grandpa use the barbecue. And so he took me downstairs. We went outside and we cooked those hot dogs for the first time. But he let me do it. I must have been maybe like 10. And that was the grill top experience for me, is when I was able to get it out there. I didn't burn it. Everybody's like, oh, this is so great. These are the best hot dogs ever. I mean, they were playing it up for a 10-year-old, right? But that's really what got it started. I want everybody able to have those kinds of experiences, because people are afraid of putting that out there on the grill, burning it up, and then ruining dinner, and they got to go out for dinner instead. And so it's really about getting people the encouragement to do it.
Right. I feel like you can't be afraid to fail cooking, because, there's always an option B. You can always go get a pizza or something like that. And I think if a lot more people realize that, a lot more people have fun cooking. So that's kind of what I try to impart on people too. So a lot of people make comments about how your film production is very good. You do a great job with your editing and production value, whatever. What are you using to film? And do you pan out, or not pan out, but kind of set out what you want to do before you do it? Or are you just kind of flying by the seat of your pants?
Yeah, I wish I was that cool, but I'm not. So the first year or so, I did everything on my cell phone except for the sound. And I wasn't really happy with the quality. The dynamic range isn't very good. So if you're ever outside, you've got the blown out background, or you look at your food and you couldn't even see it. And so after a while, I realized that wasn't working for me. I upgraded earlier this year to the Nikon D5600, because it has the flip out screen so you can watch yourself. And that made a big difference too, because on the cell phone, I'd go and shoot it, and then I'd realize that I'd messed up. I cut off my head or completely missed it and have to go back, do it again. And that was kind of a pain. But the color on that's a lot better, because it also has a decent lens. You can get the stuff in the background, make it a little bit fuzzy so you can't see the mess in my backyard or that my grass is dying, those kinds of things. and all that made me happier about it too. But as far as laying out the shots, I really don't plan it too much ahead. A lot of times what I've done is I've gone and sat down as I was editing it and said, oh, this is bad. This isn't the way I want it. And so I'd actually go back and reshoot some things or go back and fix it. So I try to jump on that as soon as possible, so that way I can remember what I did and go back. But now that I've done that a little bit more, then I remember to go get those other shots and just get a little bit of a variety out there. Because I realized if you're really good at telling a story, it doesn't really matter how good your video is. But if you can have a good, some good aesthetics and things, and people are going to want to watch it, you could have a terrible story and they're still going to want to sit down there and see the things that you're doing. And so I'm trying to shoot sort of in the middle of both of those to keep people coming around.
Right, right. And, even just doing the little promo video you did, it really did look like you put some thought in it. And, going back and forth, you're in the snow, you're not, that just those little things like that is what will keep people watching, and I really did dig that.
Yeah, so I said I couldn't hide behind my edits, but I planned on doing that whole thing in one take. And then I got home and realized it was garbage, that you couldn't hear anything I was saying in part of it. And then the guys driving by and all those other crazy things that are happening. So you just never know.
You should have stopped the guy. Be like, hey, you want to get on?
Hey, you want to come on YouTube? I'm famous. I've got 2,000 subscribers. Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
I'm sure he would have quit hunting just for that.
I'm sure. So where you went in the snow area, is that close to your house, or is it a little bit further away?
It's about an hour away, up Log Canyon.
Do you
I got,
deal with a lot of snow at your place?
we do. Last year we got 3 or 4 feet of snow, not all at once, maybe a foot at a time.
All right.
But maybe 2 or 3 months out of the year we've got snow. But if you can always go up in the mountains, go skiing. That's what Utah's really well known for.
Very, very cool. Very cool. All right, let's see here. So I'm gonna get to the slow and sear videos and the comparison videos in a moment.
Well, that's why I came. I thought that's what you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I want to get through the fluff questions first, and then we'll blow it out. All right.
All right.
The cookers that you have, you know, you have 2 kettles obviously now, but did you go buy a kettle to do the thing with the thing, the comparison?
You need to have 2 kettles in order to be able to do that. There's no way that you could, because if I had a green one and a black one, or if I had gotten the Master Touch versus the $100 one, people would have said that that could have instituted a difference, and so it had to be the same. But I've also got the Genesis E330. That's probably one of my favorite ones because you can cook just about anything on it. I still think it's better than the new ones. Bush and I were having a chat about that earlier. But I've got the Lodge Sportsman's Grill, which I haven't really come to love. I'm not quite as good at it as Big Lou is. He's got a lot of videos showing how awesome that one is.
Yeah, for sure.
I started off with, it was the Brinkman Bullet Smoker, which I thought was amazing. I thought I was the best smoker ever with that. And some kid came by and said, "Your food smells disgusting." And, you know, it took me a little while to realize that he was right. You know, I was pretty proud of it at first, but once I built the ugly drum smoker, then I was able to do a little bit more. You upgrade as you go.
And you did that by yourself, or did you? I mean, you built your ugly drum smoker, but did you do like YouTube University for it? Did you watch like Daddy Cook's video on it or anything like that?
Yeah, that's how I got to meet Daddy Cooks. I sat there and watched his half-hour video and said, "Hey, this guy can do it in his garage." He told me exactly what to do, bought all the pieces and threw it together. And still took some tweaking after that, but mine doesn't look nearly as good as his does.
Yeah,
it works just fine.
It's a bit fancy for being an ugly drum smoker.
Yeah, he's got it painted and says U.S. Army on the front. Yeah, good for him.
That's great.
But it's things like that that got me going, you know, because they show this amazing thing that they did and help people out and say, hey, maybe there's some things that I can do that can help people as well.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about it. You know, I want to be able to share. You know, I feel like I have some knowledge and I feel like I'm learning. You know, I was a home cook basically, right? But I wanted to learn how to barbecue. I want to learn how to use the Blackstone. I want to learn how to, you know, use the pit barrel, whatever. It was really my experience in barbecuing was the gas grill that we have in the backyard. And then I started watching these channels or got invited into groups and all that stuff and seeing what people can do out there. You know, I love me some barbecue, but it's expensive to go out and have barbecue. So why not make it at home and perfect it? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. You know, I want to learn and then I want to share what I've learned. And, you know, sometimes people dig what I like to say. So
when people say how expensive barbecue is, I don't think they realize how much time you actually have to put into it to make it really good. Like a brisket, you're talking 12 hours or so. Pork butt, same thing. And that takes a lot of effort and can ruin your whole day. So
yeah, it's true. I had no clue. You know, I wanted to make ribs the right way. So I was texting Kent all day. I had no idea that this was going to take 6 hours. You know, if we did 3-2-1 method or whatever. And I was just like, I had no idea that this was, I just want some damn ribs, you know?
And that's just the time cooking it. You still got to prep it. You got to clean up after you're done. And it takes an hour sometimes to get the smoker going. So.
Right. So it's just, but it's been a cool thing. It's been a cool journey to learn all that stuff. Were you hip to barbecuing before you got started on your channel, or did you start learning things the way, you know, on the way too?
So I was learning for a while and trying to get better at it. I was surprised to hear that the Firescape Griller had bought his Weber Q1200 pretty much right before he made that channel and was learning along with us, which I thought was pretty cool too. But at that point, I thought I was awesome. But going on YouTube has forced me to go out a little bit farther and try to find different things that I haven't made before. Because before I was like, okay, I know how to make hamburgers, I know how to make steaks, and these, you know, 5 things, and I would make that all the time. But now you got to make it a little bit different and figure out how to do it right, and that's been really good for me.
Well, I'm sorry, I just caught a comment there. Says, welcome, Ken Rogers. How you doing? Says, we'll be on next week or CJ will not send you your next check. Nice. You better be on time next time, Ken. That's funny. Pro tip, Meathead. Thanks a lot, man. He said something about brisket and pork butt, 30 to 45 minutes a pound. That's good. Ken, I've seen that there's been some questions rolled across, so I hope you got them ready to go. You're on, brother.
I got a couple.
Right on.
I got a couple. Can you hear me, first of all? Are we good?
You're good.
All right.
All right. Nigel wants
And
to
there.
know at first sight in calculus class.
Sorry, I only heard calculus class.
He wants to know if it was love at first sight in calculus class.
It wasn't. So we had a mutual friend that was going there, and she didn't like 8 o'clock in the morning calculus, and so she took off. And then we found ourselves walking to class together and studying a little bit more. I actually had a girlfriend at the time that I had for both of those semesters, and so we didn't even date for the first year that we knew each other. In fact, my wife now, she asked me to come over so she could show me how to make tortillas. I went to my girlfriend and said, "Hey, I think this girl likes me. I'm a little bit concerned. How about you come along and chaperone with us?" So I might be one of the few people that ended up bringing his girlfriend over to his wife's house. But there you go.
So,
Wow, that's
love at first sight.
But the friendship from that, we had it for a long time, and so when it became more romantic, it went pretty fast after that because we were already really good friends, talking all the time, and so it was pretty neat to see it change. I got out of the friend zone, is what I'm saying.
There you go. Attaboy.
You need to write a book on that. You're going to be a millionaire. All right. STCOL82 wants to know, are you sponsored by Weber or anybody else?
No, the only product that I've ever accepted was the N Sear from the Adrenaline Barbecue Company. Everything else I bought myself. I've done that. So I don't have any sponsors. And if I did, I'd make sure that I showed them, say, hey, with that one, I said that I got the N Sear from the Adrenaline Barbecue Company. I don't think I repeated it, though, in my next 2 videos after that. But
Fair enough.
Free range.
Fair enough.
All right, guys.
All right. I see
The dreaded SNS word has been uttered. Get it out there.
Yeah. Bottle Cap Barbecue wants to know, Ryan, when you cook a brisket, fat side up, fat side down, which way?
So Harry Sue would say that's a 3-hour argument that we could get into over that. But I've always cooked it fat side up because I feel like it ends up braising the meat, it drips down on it, keeps it nice and fresh. On the ugly drum, though, I've been tempted to do it fat side down because the heat comes right underneath it. That was the only time that I thought about switching. But it's always turned out good for me. And I think you can do it either way. It really doesn't matter.
Well, Chef Johnny's not here yet, but he'd definitely argue that point because he is like a walking encyclopedia of food knowledge. And he says to this day that fat solubles are bigger than meat solubles, so the fat won't actually render into the meat. So,
but the best thing that it does do is it acts as an insulation layer too, so the fat has a harder time burning than the meat.
Correct. STCOL82 again. Preference: do you prefer briquettes or lump charcoal?
So I've almost always gone with the briquettes just because they're always the same. They're real easy. I've gone with different lump charcoals, and you get some that are as big as your head, and you got to figure out how to break them up so you can get them in there. It's hard to get the heat even when you do that too, because it's kind of lopsided. So with briquettes, you know exactly what you're getting just about every time. And plus you can get them on sale for pretty cheap.
I can agree with that. I predominantly use briquettes in my kettle, but on my, I have 5 offsets and I always use lump in them just for them big chunks. It's nice to get that longer burn,
Yeah, I got to get an offset so I can do that too. But
that's my next thing I want to get too is an offset.
Yeah, there's not a lot of trees in Utah, so it's pretty expensive. I've been kind of avoiding that one.
Okay, last question I have. JP Barbecue wants to know, what's your favorite go-to drink?
My go-to drink. So since I went to BYU, you can probably guess that I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Therefore, I don't actually drink. So most of the time I drink water, and that's because I also go and ride my bike a couple thousand miles a year. If I'm going pretty crazy, I'll drink a Coke, but that's still pretty rare because I don't like to drink calories that much for the natural
Dude, you're 145 pounds. Start drinking some damn calories, son.
I lost some when I was going hunting, so that was a lot of walking around.
Yeah, well, there's 2 of you over here. I'm 290, so like CJ said, drink some damn calories.
And there's a channel out there that says never trust a skinny chef too, and I'm like, what about me?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know a lot of people that can go and ride their bike and eat a dozen donuts. So I rode 20 miles, dozen donuts, all in an hour. It was good enough for second place in that race.
You did a race where it was donut eating and bicycle riding? That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's called the Tour de Donut. So you go around, do laps, and after the first and second lap, you eat as many donuts as you can, and they knock off 3 minutes for every donut that you eat. One year I ate one donut too many, though, and that cost me. That was bad. It was hard not to throw up on that last lap.
That's awesome. Hey, Ken, real quick.
Uh-oh.
I see Big Daddy Cooks Phil is in the house. Welcome, brother. It's good to see you in there. I know I've missed a few people on the chat. I see chilling with Rob D. But Big Phil's in the house. That's exciting.
You missed the part where I was talking about him teaching me how to make the UDS.
Yeah. Phil, you missed the part. We were talking about the ugly drum smoker, and he watched your video first to do his UDS. So Phil is an inspiration to all.
He is, and that's the video that made him famous too.
Uh-oh.
Hobo with his hashtags again. So, you're going to find that people disagree with you about how you do your barbecue, or disagree with you. Sorry, we have people at the door. Will disagree with you about, the SNS or whatever. But you start talking about not drinking, that's where you're going to get some real viral comments right there.
I haven't watched them. What'd they say?
Can we take it through the garage or something? Sorry, guys. Sometimes life gets in the way of my fantasy life over here. So let's see here. Son of a Pizza Man showed up. Chicken fried barbecue. Is bragging about his sniper. So, guys, it's not pizza delivery. It is grocery delivery. So, yeah, we're bougie that way. All right, Kent, you got any more?
Yeah, I got a couple.
All right, bring it.
Christie's Cooking Channel. Ryan, what would be your last meal request?
See, that's hard. So I feel like you can do anything with a pizza, anything with a burrito, and just about anything with a hamburger. But I think that's what it is. The hamburger's got to be it. Got to put bacon, blue cheese, actually in the patty with a big side of fries. And if I can still have whatever I want a milkshake too. Since I got to drink my calories to make CJ happy.
There you go. There you go, son. I'm going to make a milkshake this weekend and film it and dedicate it to you.
Oh, thanks.
And put some protein powder too. All right, Ken, sorry.
All right. I'm not sure I want to ask this one or not, because it does come from Deep Sea Barbecue.
Uh-oh.
He wants to know, Ryan, is there any truth to this magic underwear rumor?
So, yeah, there's lots of stuff about the church out there, and I'm sure most of what you could find out is on South Park, right? That was some of the jokes that I heard when I was out on my mission.
Or that show, Book of Mormon?
Yeah, the play that came out too. That got a lot of people interested in the church because the church put ads out on the actual pamphlets. And so as people learned the South Park version of the Book of Mormon, they wanted to find out more about why they were making fun of it. So that was kind of neat that they turned that one around. But yeah, a lot of members of the church have, they call them garments, underwear that they wear. Just as a representative of the covenants and promises that they make.
All right. So not offensive, we're just a learning moment.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
You didn't have to be worried about that one, Kent.
I don't watch South Park. I don't know.
All right. Amy Lynn Whitaker is saying later, everyone. So have a good night, Amy. Take care. Appreciate you stopping by. All right, Kent, go ahead.
I'm done.
Oh,
wait. Corey just put one in. Hold on.
Hold up.
Cooking with Corey. You probably missed this earlier, but what's your favorite rub and sauce?
Yeah, so if I'm buying it from the store, I almost always go with Sweet Baby Ray's, and I know there's a ton of people that hate that one and have some things to say about it. But as far as rubs, I really like Tony Chachere's, or I think Slap Your Mama, some of the Cajun style ones. They go
Slap Your Mama
on a lot of different things, and they're pretty good. I like that, the coriander and the black and white pepper on that.
That I just bought a big old jar, whatever, of that Slap Your Mama from New Orleans. I got it a couple years back, just a little thing. Loved it. So when I went back, I had to make sure I got some of that stuff. I put it in everything. It's freaking awesome. So Phil showed up to say hi, give some love and support, and now he's got to go. He's on duty. Hey, Phil, be careful out there, brother. We're all praying for you, man. Make sure you are safe.
Good luck in places unknown, right?
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. All right. Let's start with the slow and sear, and then we'll come back to have some, fun questions and lighten the mood. Everybody, we're going to talk about the slow and sear right now, and there are people on both sides of the fence on this one. So make sure you remember the love we all have for each other in our community, and let's keep it friendly and have a chat. I'm not going to get crazy in depth on it, because we don't need to. I think it's a quality product, but as Hobo says, is it necessary? Whatever. So what prompted you to want to get in on this thing? You said that David sent you a slow and sear. Is that what kind of prompted you into doing the dang thing?
So actually, to start, I was considering to buy it because a lot of people, there's two kinds of people that liked it. The ones that said it was absolutely amazing, and the other ones that squinted at the price and weren't sure if it was really worth the $100 that it was to go out and buy it. And so as I was in the YouTube community, I saw a few more people getting them, and I just happened to wonder, like, hey, are they getting sent that? So instead of buying it, I just sent him an email and said, hey, I'm interested in looking at your product. Would you send it out to me for an honest review? And he did. I was really surprised that he was willing to do that.
Did he offer to come to your house like some of the other gentlemen did and cook a steak with you?
He said, hey, I'm going to come over. It's going to be prime. We're going to have these giant tomahawk steaks. No, none of that. No. Never had an offer to come over. He just said, sure, here it is. And you like it, great. So I did, and I liked it. He's never offered to come out. I don't think it's worth his time either.
Come on, dude. Don't shortchange yourself a little bit.
But look at Steve and the crazy editing that he does. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And now he's making those videos for him. Right.
That was, hey, I give all the kudos in the world to Steve on that. Besides just being an amazing editor and doing the way he does his videos, he has a great presence about him. And I think that's why he's growing so big. And Dave is a smart businessman, and he realized that, Steve could help out his channel. Not that, Justin from Baby Bag Maniac or Javen Postal weren't doing great jobs for him too, but I think anybody can agree that Steve really does do the dang thing with as far as putting his videos together and the shooting and the editing and all that stuff. So
it's good to rotate through too, because people interact with different people differently, or you might have different experiences, and you get more faces behind it. You say, hey, a lot of people are using this thing. Yeah. So they get excited and want to try it too.
For sure. So when you, besides getting it for your review, did you already kind of set out that you wanted to get new Weber kettle, or I don't know if you got new ones or an extra one or whatever, and do that test straight up?
No, I just started off at first because I got Dave's attention when I did the "Do you need the slow and sear" video with the cold grate technique. I mirrored what he did, and I didn't even use charcoal baskets. I just threw all the charcoal on one side and then tried to recreate what he did. And I got results. It still worked out pretty well. And so from that, I actually wanted to find out, now, is it better to use the slow and sear? I felt like it was. I did it a few times, and it was more consistent than it was when I just piled up the charcoal on the one side. So in that case, it did help. That was pretty much going to be the end of it. I just was going to keep using it if I liked it, but I had no intention of doing those other two videos, at least at that time.
Okay. Moderators, if anybody's sober in there, when you go to Ryan's channel and put the links in the chat so people can take a look at it if they haven't already. I'm more than certain most of these people in the chat have seen it already. I watched the pulled pork episode just a little bit before we came on, and it's it looked like it worked out pretty darn well to me. I felt like your experiment was pretty right on. But what do you think? Do you think you could have done anything differently? Obviously, you probably got a little bit of heat for it, a couple thumbs down here and there or whatever. Do you think you could have done something wrong? Or better, sorry, not wrong, but better, different?
Yeah, I think we can all make mistakes. I did a few of the test videos before that, and people said, "Hey, well, you didn't consider this one thing," and said, "Oh, man, I didn't do that right." So as I was doing this one, I tried to think through a little bit better. With that pork butt video that you saw, I tried to do it so that I cooked each one the best way that I could. Because if I wanted to slant it one way, well, I already knew that the slow and sear had a better temperature differential across the cooking grades. I could have pulled that pork butt closer like it was on the slow and sear, and I probably would have burned it. But I didn't want to do that. I pushed it as far back as I could to try to get the best cook possible in both situations. And so I was trying to keep it as unbiased as I could in both those cases.
Okay, cool. How do you think it was receptive with your particular audience, your group of followers, your fans, whatever?
Well, I posted the slow and sear fan page, and they loved it. They thought it was fantastic, right? Because it agreed with what they thought in a lot of cases. And I think that's the way it goes with a lot of things, that if we see things that we agree with and we start to like a little bit more, the things that we don't like as much, then we just kind of write off a lot of times.
Right. I don't want to put you on the spot so much as, just more or less opinion, I guess. Do you think it's the be all end all apparatus for your kettle?
So when I first did the efficiency video, I thought that it might be more efficient, especially after the snake method that they posted. I said, wow, this is going to save me a ton of money. It's just one of the things that they said. And it didn't. I had to think through the physics of that, why it didn't work out the same way. It ended up being almost exactly the same. But you can find out that it sears really well. It does that pretty easy. I knew before I did that video, just from the testing and the cooking that I did, that you don't have to rotate things when you put it on the slow and sear. And that saves a lot of time and energy and lifting the lid and letting the heat out. Even just like when I was making it was macaroni and cheese from Costco. It's real easy to heat it up on the Weber kettle. Every other time I'd have to flip it halfway through, but with the slow and sear, I didn't. So between the searing and the baking and then the low and slow, it makes things a lot easier. And my time is valuable to me. And so for that, I think it's well worth the price. It may not be for everybody else. Can you still do those things without it? Well, you can. And I mentioned that in all those videos.
Right. Did you use the water reservoir?
In which test?
In any of the tests. I missed it if you did. And I just wondered if you really made it different, better, or whatever, what your opinion is on it, basically.
Yeah. So the one interesting thing that I didn't really comment on the pork butt video that I did fill up the reservoir. And as I watched a lot of videos for how to do it with the Weber baskets, they all said to put the water pan directly underneath it. And when it was all done, the reservoir was completely dry, and the water that was with the baskets was still at the same level it was before. It didn't really evaporate like it did in the slow and sear, so it didn't actually increase the humidity, keep that bark going a little bit longer, which I thought that was interesting.
All right, cool. So you'd recommend getting it if you have the means, you need it, whatever, right? Like I'm sorry, it's like, are you a fan of it? Are you pro slow and sear? Not trying to label more or less, but just, I think a lot of people are pro and con. I want to find a way to, I don't want to say combine it on there, but like convince the people that it's either the devil or not, like there's people that just really dislike it, and people that just gotta have it, love it, so where are you at on that? What are your feelings on that?
So I already had the ugly drum smoker beforehand, but getting the slow and sear and being able to cook low was a lot easier that I found than it was before when I just had the Weber kettle. And so if I only have to cook one or two things, that's the way to do it. And if I had that before I had the ugly drum smoker, I might consider, well, maybe I don't need to get a separate smoker for that, so I can save a little bit on space, time. The cost of the slow and sear is still less than it cost me to build that ugly drum smoker, and that thing also took a couple of weekends to put together between burning it out and grinding all the things and hooking it up. So in that case, I think it makes a lot of sense. Now, if you already have all those things and can do low and slow and something else and you're happy with it, then maybe it doesn't.
All right, cool. I think that's pretty much all I really wanted to cover with it. It seemed like it didn't get too crazy in there. Meathead said S&S is a charcoal basket, period. So obviously we know his opinions on it and his thoughts on it. So no big deal.
Yeah. And a lot of people got upset about his videos, but the one thing that made me mad was that he threw it away. He had the recycle bin right there. He could have recycled that thing and got it turned into something else.
I thought he turned it into a flower pot or something.
That was in the first video. It was before he actually tossed it.
Right on. All right. Kent is gone. I just happened to look up. I was going to send it. Oh, there he goes. I was just going to send it to him, and you were gone. Kent, where'd you go?
Fat fingers.
Hit the wrong button. Kris is oh, sorry, hold on real quick. Mega Fred's in the house. Mega Fred, we asked your question. First of all, welcome. I'm glad you're here, brother. He doesn't listen to a lot of music, but he did in the past. Korn, you said, and who else?
Korn and Rob Zombie. Yeah, when I was younger.
All right, so I think Mega Fred, you'll dig that. Let's see here. Nigel is being very British right now and giving a well-deserved compliment to everybody. Nigel, you're awesome, man. Everybody freaking loves you. You need to come on the hot seat, I swear. I'll change the time so it's UK ready if you want. Let's see. Oh, Meathead said he rescued it, so it did not go in the trash.
Okay, that's good. Glad to hear it.
He's going to use it again. He secretly loves it. He just doesn't want to say.
So, I mean, it's probably no secret that
me in May.
What'd you say?
Sorry, it's probably no secret that Meathead's video. Who are you talking to?
Kent, you say what you got to say.
No, go ahead, Ryan. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm just screwing around. Go ahead,
Okay.
Ryan. Sorry.
I mean, it's probably no secret that Meathead was the one that encouraged me to make those other two videos. He told me to make my own test, and I did. And as part of that, some of the things that I thought he did wrong, like counting out the charcoal, I assumed that they would be different in weight. And when I did it, they were the exact same in grams. And I made sure I posted that in the video too, which backed up some of the things that he did as well. The different tests, different perspectives.
Right on, right on. I see Big James from Amen Claimham's in the house. Everybody loves some James. And Rythrol is on. That is Meathead's son. Rythrol, I noticed you, brother. We'll get you and your dad on here soon enough. All right, Kate, ask Kris this question before he loses his mind. You don't have a question.
Which Kris?
Hobo.
I did not see it.
Is Kent going to ask his question bleep or not?
What?
Kent? Oh, my God. I'm just going to have to give. Hobo, repost, please.
Did not see Chris's question.
All right, Hobo, repost your question, please. CJ, okay, he wants me to right through? Man, can't you just put your name in there? Your name like Little Timmy or something? All right, Scooter Too Cool, what's up, brother? How you doing? Hobo, put your question again. Obviously, it's in the Facebook Messenger. All right, can't look for it. Let's go back to the other questions I'd like to ask. What are some of the funniest things that happen before you edit it, like after the final edit, so we didn't get to see, bloopers, whatever?
Yeah, I think when my daughter was about 2, so I was just starting off my channel. I was trimming up a brisket, and she was sitting there in the high chair eating something, and she said, Daddy's cutting the piggy or something like that, and just cracked me up to that. I didn't even think she knew what meat was or where it came from at that time, but since then she's asked for meat on top of her birthday cake, and everything she wants has to have meat on it. So it started early with her. That's
cute, man. Really. All right. You probably, if you've done your homework like a good boy, and this is the question I love the most. If Hollywood were going to make a movie about you and your channel, who would it be?
It's got to be the best looking guy in Hollywood. That'd be Steve Buscemi. If you've seen him, he does all the crazy guys in most of the movies, in a lot of Adam Sandler movies. He was in Con Air. That guy cracks me up. I really like him.
Right on.
It would be an honor if he'd play me too.
That's awesome, man. I see Hobo give an attitude in there. I guess his question is, you started talking that you said you were about to quit after the first SNS video, and then I guess I talked over you, and you never finished your statement on that. So you were going to make the one, you decided to make more?
Yeah, well, I finished it up when we talked about the artist formerly known as Meathead. His videos, inspired me to look at it again, because there are some people that do things the right way, or it might have been biased. And so I wanted to sit back and try to evaluate how could we do it a little more scientifically to see if any changes were showing up.
Right on.
And we did a few things a little bit differently. The main thing is that he just set the vents at the same spot, and I tried to maintain the temperature the best that I could.
So you were adjusting the vents as you go?
Right. Trying to keep the temperature locked in at the same one. Because I wondered if one of them would suck more air through it than the other one, in which case they would be running at a higher temperature than the other one did.
Right on, right on. Someone said Neil Patrick Harris would be a good, Doogie Howser would be a good one. All right. Let's see here. We've asked that one. We kind of answered that one. Who taught you how to cook? Who got you doing this thing?
So my mom had probably 5 or 10 recipes that she was really good at, and that's what she cooked all the time. And I got to learn a few of those. And if I ever wanted to branch out, then that's what I would do. But it wasn't really until I moved and went out to college, because at that point, nobody's cooking for me. I didn't want to go eat in the cafeteria because the food wasn't very good. So I found myself getting the ingredients and getting together and to be able to make those things. Turns out girls really like people that can cook. And that was great. So then I got to eat, didn't have to go out, and still got the brownie points with them. So,
Very cool, very cool. Scott from In for the Grill said Ethan Hawke is an option. That's a good looking dude. There you go.
I got to look that up later. I'm not sure who it is.
Ethan Hawke, you'll recognize him when you see him. I don't know any films, but he's been in plenty of films. But the cooking, how do you think I nabbed Mrs. CJ right there? She knows a good cook when she sees a big boy. She knows I'm a provider. She knows I can cook a mean steak. So, and there the eye roll. Just had to peek your head around and give me the eye roll. So there you go. Let's see here. I've seen a couple questions roll through. I don't want to have you miss them. If you want to ask them real quick, and we'll come back to mine.
All right. Mr. Mega Fred Zeppelin. Ryan, have you ever had In-N-Out burgers?
Sorry, I only got the first end of that one. Can you repeat it?
Mr. Mega Fred Zeppelin wants to know if you ever tried the In-N-Out burgers.
In-N-Out burger. Yeah, so my dad loves In-N-Out. He thought it was the bee's knees. That's the place you got to go, because he was from California. And so when I was driving out, stopped in Reno, I saw the In-N-Out sign, like, I've got to go there. And so I stopped and got it. And to be honest, I think those burgers are just okay. I'm more of a Five Guys fan. I mean, especially because I like fries more than burgers, I think. And so you get that big cup, and then your burger just about falls out the bottom of the bag because it's so greasy. And that's good stuff. The fries at In-N-Out are a little bit more healthy, I think.
Oh, man. Just when I thought we were going on smooth.
I said something bad?
The In-N-Out, man. I mean, I'm from Southern California. It's the be-all, end-all of burgers in Southern California and Northern California and maybe Vegas.
They've got a few in Vegas, too, yeah.
How dare you?
Have you had Five Guys fries?
Yeah, we have one around us. I feel the same way probably you feel about In-N-Out. It's all right. But, I grew up around In-N-Out. My brother worked there when he was a teenager, and I was a bit younger. I was hanging out with my big brother. We'd go to In-N-Out all the time. So, it's just one of those things that I've grew up on, There's a new place that comes around here called the Habit Burger, Habit Grill, whatever. They have a good burger that is comparable to In-N-Out. Like, I really enjoy it. They catered our reception. They had a food truck come with the burger in there, so it was a good time. So, but no In-N-Out, huh? All right, whatever. Moving on. All right,
done crying yet?
You got New Year's?
Are you done? You done crying yet, or what?
I don't know. I'm not quite done yet, but I will. I'll let it go for now.
Damn sensitive millennial. Yep. All right, Tom Hinnerman wants to know, Ryan, where did you do your missionary work? Any place exciting, or?
Yeah. So what's interesting about that is you don't get to pick where you're going. You don't even know if you're going to go speak a foreign language. You just put in your paperwork and say, I volunteer. they've got some medical forms in there just to see if you're healthy enough to go certain places. And when mine came back, they said Hawaii, which a bunch of people made fun of me. They said, hey, that's not really a mission, that's a vacation. But missionaries have strict rules. They couldn't even go out on the beach the whole time. And so you're stuck in this beautiful place, but you don't get to enjoy a lot of the things that people go to Hawaii to see.
That's crazy.
All right.
You can't go on the
sea
beach.
kind of.
Sorry.
Yeah, missionaries don't swim.
Yeah.
Things they try to keep them safe. Come on, if you're looking at 19, 20-year-old guys, they're going to do some dumb things, and they want them to be able to go back home to their mom. And so they try to take good care of them that way.
That's true.
Deep Sea was kind of piggybacking on that question. He wanted to know if any of your missionary trip, and if so, if you learned any new cooking techniques while you were, but that's not really out of the country. So I take it that's a no.
Well, I did learn a few cooking techniques because they had a lot of barbecues there. And so there was one time when it was a Tongan group, they got together and they had a pig that was in the back of the truck, and they took it all the way from running around to digging the hole, throwing it in there, and then having the party the next day, which was pretty cool to be able to see that process. My Show You Chicken video was actually inspired from a lot of the barbecues that I went there. They'd go and marinate it in their coolers, like an entire cooler full of chicken, and then they grill that up in some good wood. And they've got a lot of really good food over there. Just stay away from the poi. It's purple and tastes like Elmer's glue.
I agree. I've been
right.
to Hawaii plenty of times. It's horrible.
Ryan Roundhouse Ranch has a question. Is there a dish that you've ever made for a video that was horrible? That you said on the video, this is the best thing I've ever ate?
So I have never posted a video that I wasn't happy with. I want to make sure that people are able to do what I do and like it. Because if I have one out there and they try it and it's terrible, then they're going to say, hey, I'm not going to watch this guy anymore. So I try to be a little bit selective there. That said, I've tried to do peach cobbler 2 or 3 times now, and every time I end up throwing it away for whatever reason. Either I mess up the footage or I wasn't quite happy with the way that it came out. So maybe next year when the peaches come back, I'll have to see.
Good enough. That's more than fair enough. That's for sure. That is all I have right now. CJ?
Right on. I see that 2 family homesteads in the house. For you guys, she's new to, her and her husband are new to our group here, Sherry. I'm actually going to be interviewed by them coming up in November, and I'll put that on my channel, kind of like how you did with yours, Ryan. So everybody welcome 2 Family Homestead in there. Make sure you sub to them because I will be on their channel pretty soon. I think it's the second week in November. That's the 12th, I believe. So yeah, the 12th. So make sure you sub to them. Rythrill is putting spiders in the chat. That's awkward. So, oh, Daryl. All right, welcome, Daryl. Good to see you, brother. Let's see here. Miss Booger's already subbed to them, as you should. Very cool. All right, let's get back to the questions here. So you say you don't put everything or anything that you don't think is successful, right? What is your most memorable fail?
It's been a while. I also did biscuits and gravy. I wasn't happy with that one. That one didn't turn out right. And I'm burning things, and I had to throw that one out too.
Really? You burned the biscuits or the gravy?
It was the biscuits. When you're trying to cook it on a grill, there's a real fine line between getting that golden brown and getting it burnt. So I got to try that one again sometime.
Grill. All right, on. That's pretty interesting. Let's see here. What is your favorite dish to cook?
It's got to be burritos. I've done a lot of burrito videos, but you can put pretty much anything in there, leftovers, whatever it takes, and love those, especially some fresh tortillas from Mr. Top Experience.
Right on, right on. All right. Would the favorite thing be your signature dish, or do you have something that you just everybody calls for and wants you to do?
Yeah, if we have people over, it's almost always Mexican food that we serve them. It seems to be pretty popular and it's easy to make and goes a long way too. So I haven't had a lot of complaints about that one.
Right on, right on. All right. You don't drink. We covered that. What is a guilty food pleasure for you? You know, money's no object, restaurant, wherever you want to do. What do you think?
Yeah, I do have a sweet tooth. And so just about like a lot of people really love pie. I love the ice cream. It's kind of like the French fry thing. So anything that I can put ice cream on ends up being a pretty good dessert. And so I try to make those whenever I can. It was a Snickers cobbler that I made a couple of weeks ago that turned out pretty good. And all sorts of crazy stuff.
Right on. All right. Christy's cooking channel has a lifetime question here, so we always ask it. I think she's still in the chat. Hopefully she's in the chat. What is the best and worst thing you've ever made? It didn't have to be filmed for YouTube or anything like that, but just over your lifespan of cooking, best and worst thing.
So the worst thing was a bummer. So I'd worked with a boy. I worked with the Boy Scouts, and he had raised a bunch of turkeys as part of his eagle project. And after we were doing his eagle board, I asked him if he still sold them, and he did. And so his family came over. They had this 23-pound turkey that was, happy turkey, got to run around. And then when I went and thawed it out, was ready to cook it, had everything ready to go, and I realized I lost the meat thermometer. I way overcooked it. So it was supposed to be this amazing turkey, and it came out to be the worst one that I ever made. And so that was pretty bummed about that one. The best thing that I make it's a Steve Reichland video, release a recipe. He does a sweet and garlicky pork chops. That was in his barbecue Bible book, and also have it on the channel. That one turns out pretty awesome too, because you've got the garlic and this really sweet Asian sauce on there. And if you can cook it right, it all caramelizes together and turns out pretty good.
Right on. All right, cool. Kent, I'm kind of working on my last few questions here. Do you got anything else in the chat?
I have one left from Deep Sea Barbecue.
Oh no!
And no, he's being a little more serious here. I squashed one question earlier. I didn't think it was very appropriate, but answer this with an open mind, Ryan. Yeah, the first thing he says is no judgments or anything. He wants you to know that up front. Why the Mormon religion when there's 4,200 religions out there? Is it is it family heritage, or he was just curious why you're Mormon?
Why I'm Mormon? Well, I did grow up Mormon, at least when my mom got baptized when I was pretty young, so it's pretty much all that I remember. But the one thing that we always encourage people to do is that you shouldn't just, even with the Bible or learning about Jesus Christ, you shouldn't believe just everything that you hear. We know that we can go to the source of truth, and that's God, and we can ask him, say, hey, what is it I'm supposed to do? Which church should I join? And I've done that. And so I've prayed about the Book of Mormon. I've prayed about the church and found that it is God's church. And so that's what I want to go to. Now, there's lots of churches out there that bring people good things and teach them good things. And I'm happy that they do that. But this is the one that's working for me.
So it wasn't introduced through your family, your parents, or anything like that?
It was, but right now, my parents, they don't go to church too much. And I still do it even though I'm much older than that. It's because it became a part of me, and being able to have that spiritual side to be able to rely on helps a ton.
Yeah, no matter what you believe in, faith is always a good thing to have and get you through the hard times and even the good times. So for sure. Go ahead, Kate. Sorry.
That's it.
All right, cool.
That's all I got.
I've noticed a couple more people stopping there. Maria's World is in there. Big Ron's Hobbies in there. That was really a good answer, brother. Like it makes tons of sense there. Hobo asked a question earlier that we missed, and so I'm going to ask it again. It's a basketball question, so I'm not sure you're a big fan or not, but who are your top 3 Utah Jazz players?
See, he's not going to be impressive with this one. I'm not really big on the games you get the thing to the other thing. Most of the sports I don't watch. Mostly it's because I'm kind of lerpy and I'm not very good at any of them. So I prefer the endurance sports like cycling and the Ironman, watching those guys go out there and do it. I don't watch basketball or football really at all. NASCAR, pretty good. Kurt Busch. Or no, Kyle. Sorry, Kyle.
Oh, look at Kent perk up. He's a NASCAR boy. He likes watching people make left-hand turns for hours.
That's my favorite part.
Hey, they make rights on road courses, dummy.
Fair enough.
In California.
They do. You got to watch enough of it to know they turn right sometimes too. So I whiffed on that question.
I've been corrected. I've been put in my place right there. Sorry, guys.
What do you got to do to get the host around here?
Kirk Busch, hell yes. There you go. So I'll give my top 3 Jazz players: Karl Malone, John Stockton, and the field. I don't know anybody else.
Jeff Hornacek.
Hornacek. All right, I'll go with there. Hey, Kirby's here. Welcome, Kirby. It's good to see you, brother. Nice to see you jump in there. Daryl from Two Families Homestead said, did someone say NASCAR? So I think we have more than one NASCAR fan in the bunch here. Kent wins. Nice. Let's see here. All right. 3 channels you watch. 1 big, 1 small, and 1 you think should be a lot bigger.
It's going to be more than that. I've got a lot of big ones that I really like Binging with Babish. You Suck at Cooking is pretty good videos and also pretty funny when he does that.
Yep.
I like a lot of those. Of course, we got to watch T-Roy because everybody loves the things that he does out there on the barbecue. Yep. Some medium-sized ones. Go back to the small ones. Lossie's Food and Barbecue has got to be the one that I think should be bigger than it is. Because if you ever watch all of his videos, he's got hundreds of them. He kicks them out 2 or 3 times a week. He's been doing that for a while. And he's got a really wide range in things that he does. So he cooks outside, he cooks sauces, he cooks desserts, he bakes. And I'm pretty impressed with that guy. I just wish that he could get a few more people watching him too.
Yeah, he is definitely a stud. And he does so many different things on his channel too. He's a hustler too. Yeah. And in all honesty, he's a great dude. I hung out with him a couple of days when he was here. Awesome dude. So I'm with you.
And another one that's pretty good is Sam the Cooking Guy. If you've ever watched him, he's pretty funny. He has a lot of haters.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, I watched Sam the Cooking Guy. I've been following him for a while. I didn't even find him through the YouTube community style. Someone at work suggested him one time, and he's pretty darn funny. I like watching him. His son is the one that helps him do the production and filming, and I've caught him a couple of live chats, and they're funny as hell. So yeah, let's
got to turn his off if the kids are around, but
yeah,
I like watching him when they're sleeping.
He's actually started putting the beeps in when he cusses. I think it's pretty funny.
He's doing that more.
Beep, beep, beep. Yeah. So there's sometimes a constant beep there, but whatever.
I think he eggs on the haters too when he does that, because once he starts out his videos and he starts swearing at the people who made dumb comments in the last one. So
yeah, exactly. All right, so we got Lassie, we got Sam the Cooking Guy, T-Roy. Anybody else you want to throw in there? Yourself?
I think Binging with Babish and You Suck at Cooking are the other 2 that I think are pretty cool.
I love Binging with Babish. That guy is just a talent, and he seems like a pretty genuine dude too. So the We Suck at Cooking guy.
He doesn't even show his face either, and he's gotten pretty popular, so you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
That's saying something for Tom.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, sorry, we got Skeeter in here. Let's see here. Brandon Gurley's in the house. What's up, brother? Catching a lot of people coming in a little bit later. Very cool. Glad you can make it. All right, brother. If you could cook anybody in history, who would it be? Alive or dead?
I think Julia Childs and I share a lot of love there. I mean, she likes butter in it. She liked the old-fashioned chicken. She had a lot of really good things, and she would be a lot of fun to cook with, I think.
I think so, too. Good answer.
If I cooked with Gordon Ramsay, he'd probably just yell at me and say that I messed it up anyway. But
yeah, that guy's pretty kind of a nut job for sure. But
he's a lot nicer on the kids show.
Yeah, definitely. What's funny is he has I think 4 kids too. So he's all nice and sweet to all them as he should be. But you get him in that Hell's Kitchen territory, and he's a beast, man.
You turn me into an idiot sandwich or something, right?
Right on. All right. Meathead's question for life. I'm sorry, Meat Cranium Barbecue and Review.
That's messing me up. I don't know what to call him anymore.
He wants to be called Meat Cranium and Barbecue.
Meat Cranium.
Yeah, head cranium. That's close enough. He said Kris the Butcher, so I don't know if I missed something in there, but we love Kris the Butcher. He's a nut job too. Let's see here. Who would be on your personal Mount Rushmore? 4 people you admire, love, whatever.
I've been thinking about this one for a really, really long time, ever since I've been watching you guys. I like people that want to go fast, and so you'd probably have to look this one up. Burt Munro, he's the world's fastest Indian. So he's from New Zealand. He got a bike that could only go 55 miles an hour. He ended up forging the pistons himself. He made amazing things. He sells his stuff, gets out to Utah to go out on the salt flats, and he ends up setting a record that lasted for a really long time. Those are the kind of guys that I think are pretty cool. Also, of course, first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, happened to be on my birthday, which was cool as well. But just if you ever go to the Smithsonian, you get to see the capsule they put him in and think they went on that thing and went all the way around the moon, and that is pretty impressive. They have to be pretty brave to be able to do those things.
Right on.
Those
so
would have to be
2, right? That's 2?
Yeah. Oh, I should have thought of 4.
Yeah, there's 4.
Oh, I heard last week you're supposed to put your wife on there.
There you go. There's a good man. So Nikki's on there. Do you got a 3rd person? Or sorry, a 4th person? And if you don't, it's not the end of the world. This isn't like pass or fail, brother. Not a big deal.
I think Kent might be mad about that one if I put Kyle Busch up there.
I think he's a Jeff Gordon fan. That's what I heard.
He retired, though.
Oh, crap. Jeff Gordon.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Kyle gets speeding tickets on the weekends, too. So he was testing a Lexus and ended up getting a speeding ticket.
Okay.
You already get to go fast whenever you want.
There you go.
You NASCAR dudes, why do people don't like Jeff Gordon? Anybody?
Where do you want to start?
Give me the paragraph. The Cliff Notes version.
Most people hated him back in the day. The same reason that most people hate Kyle Busch now. He wins too damn much, and all that hatred started back in the '80s with Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, Jay just said because he's good.
Yeah, he was a very talented driver. You know what? The sad thing is, I think he's an even better announcer.
No.
So, I mean, Jeff Gordon was right. There's no doubt about that.
I think that's a good place for him. He had a good run. He did it for a long time and got hard there towards the end.
Now I hear Danica Patrick was quite a driver.
She was good before she came to NASCAR. I don't think she ever won, though.
I don't think so either. I don't know. She's a looker.
No,
that's all I know.
Well, she won the twin ring race in Mogatai, Japan, in a cup car. They had 12 different cup drivers over there, but she's never won a sanctioned race. That's just a exhibition race they do over in Japan in the off season.
Got it.
Yeah. But if you look at her fan base, she had way more people. It was between her and Jeff Gordon that had the biggest group around her car before the race started.
Nice.
Wow. Have you seen Danica? Hello. I would have been there too.
I have.
Jeff Gordon.
She's the GoDaddy girl.
So Bottle Cap Barbecue Chris said, I'm a closet NASCAR fan. No, I'm not. Kent Hobo said Kent's repping her because she's with Aaron Rodgers. He's a Green Bay quarterback who Kent is a big fan of Green Bay. So there you go. That's funny right there. Cooking with Corey wants to switch to football, but that's all right.
Who said that?
Cooking with Corey said he wants to switch to football. So if anybody's watching what?
Does he want to talk about Nebraska football because they finally got their first win?
They got their first win. That's a good
Is that the deer? Huh?
Pickles says,
I don't get 4
much. That's funny. All right. Let's see here. What is one thing most people don't know about you that you can share with us?
Shoot, I already blew it. I should have saved the donut race for that one.
Dude, that's
but
awesome.
I've actually gotten second place 4 times, and both my mom and my dad have gotten second place in that race too. So it runs in the family.
So what do we got to do to get you to first place? Do we need to do some PEDs? Do we need to get in the weight room? What do we got to do, brother?
I got to eat more donuts. They always beat me by about 6, but I'm always faster than they are. So
there you go. There you go.
Say, Ryan, you know what they call second place in NASCAR, right?
If you're not first, you're last.
First place loser.
The first loser. Exactly. Any special skills besides donut eating and bicycle riding?
Yeah. Sorry, I can't think of anything for that one.
No worries. All right. We're coming down to my last question here. So, you got anything? Do you see anything in the chat that we can wrap it up with?
I do have a question, a couple. Let me scroll back so I can see who asked it. Oh, I think it was Nigel said, Ryan, would you take a free ticket to the moon on, what is it, SpaceX? I'm trying to find the question.
Could be. Yeah. So my coworker was one of the people that signed up to go to Mars on the one-way trip with no way to get back. And his mom ripped him a new one, and he had to take his name off the list because he felt so bad. But yeah, if I had the opportunity to go there and felt like it'd be safe, then I'd absolutely take that trip.
Okay. That would be definitely a different experience, that's for sure. So, last question I have, Miss Booger put in here, you said earlier in the show you were a military brat. What branch of the military were you? Was it just your dad in, or both folks?
Yeah, it was my dad in the Air Force.
Right on. Well, we definitely appreciate the vets on here, so give our love to them and our thanks.
Well, he just retired a few years ago. He's pretty happy to go move on.
That's awesome. I hope he catches this on the replay. We really appreciate our vets on either my channel, the Hot Seat, Kent, everybody. So very cool. All right, Kent.
That was my last question, brother.
All right, cool. All right, man. Hardest question of the night. Who do you want to see on the hot seat?
So I didn't hear it, but I know what the question is. You want to know who can be on there next time. The Culinary Cookhouse would be pretty amazing because his video editing is top notch too. He's building up pretty fast.
I talked over you by accident. Who is that again?
The Culinary Cookhouse.
The Culinary Cook. Yes, he is a future guest. I have him inked on the calendar.
What about Cooking with James? That guy's a real character. He seems like he's a lot of fun.
He's already been on.
I missed that one. I got to go back and watch it then.
Yeah, go check that out. He did a great job with us. He really promoted it. He broke the first record of viewers, and then we broke that with Booger the next week. So yeah, he's already been on. Anybody else? I'm booked out.
I'm still waiting.
Huh?
I'm still waiting for you to jump on the plane and take T-Roy up on his offer. If you show up to his house and do this thing.
We were talking about a trip to Austin sometime next year, but a lot of ducks need to fall in that row before we can do that because we have a couple other trips we're working on too. But I would love to get T-Roy on here. I think it'd be a great time. I think he is probably one of the most genuine, coolest dudes out there, and people have met him in the chat. Booger obviously knows they're great friends, so I really would love to get out there and sit down and chat with them and try some of his fabulous cooking for sure. So we are trying to make sure we have yeah, right. Kirby said I should do the hot seat with T-Roy when I'm monetized. When I just hit the hours, so I put in for a review recently, so that's a big deal. So. Anybody else you can think of? We were booked out until the middle of January, so we got a lot of stuff going on.
Wow, you got me in quick then.
Yeah, we.
If I think of more, I'll let you know. But those are the big ones I thought of.
Definitely. We actually. I was reaching out to you for January when I first started thinking about working out a time frame for you, but it turns out I had a different guest to this week that needed to cancel. So that's why, and you were able to work out the time frame, so it worked out a lot sooner. I wanted to get you on there soon, so that's cool.
And the other one would be Christy, but I think she's already on the list. She said that last week.
She is on the list. Nigel, I see a hashtag from Hobo in there. Nigel, you need to get on. Yeah, Nigel, Josie was actually the one scheduled for the night, but she decided to cancel for personal reasons. So we had to kind of say goodbye on that one, and no hard feelings. Still love Miss J. She's awesome. So Nigel, get with me. I need you to get on here. Everybody needs to see you. He said no. He said no with a bunch of exclamation points. You need to get on here, son. That would be so much fun. All right. Keith Bedtag said, between me and Burger, I bet we can get you hooked up with T-Roy or with Troy. So let's, Keith, Booger, make it happen. We'll get him on here. Let's see here. Ken, you got any last words, thoughts, whatever?
No, as far as questions, we are all caught up and done. Ryan, it's been great. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Definitely enjoyed it.
All right, cool. Before I go back to you, Ryan, real quick, I'm going to put the link for the Hangout in the chat. So jump on if you feel like hanging out a little bit afterwards. Ryan, you got anything else you need to say or you would like to say to the peeps?
No, I just appreciate everybody that came out to listen. It was what keep me going is all you guys helping me out.
Right on. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Next week's guest is, let me check my calendar. It's a good guest. We love this guest. It'll be Rob from Pit Dog Barbecue is going to be our guest next week. Excited to have him on. Everybody loves Rob. Everybody loves Duke. So it's going to be a good time to have them on here. Ryan, I really appreciate you coming on. It's been great talking to you. I was hoping that it would be a little more controversy and heated and fighting in the chat, but everybody has been real cool, and you know, they could always have two sides of the coin and still get along. So it's been great to have you on here, and I've enjoyed really have enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you a little bit better. Everybody else, thank you for stopping by. Kent, you did a great job as always. My moderators, great job, and we'll see you next week. All right, take care. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching the Hot Seat with all of us. Take care.